Sergeant Cortez. An elite squad of Space Marines are spearheading the counterforce against the TimeSplitters. Sergeant Cortez is a battle-hardened veteran who is proficient with all weapon types and can adapt to any combat conditions. Corporal Hart. Not just an excellent soldier, Corporal Hart is also an expert with all kinds of mechanical and computer technology. She has found her servo-enhanced tritium exo-arm to be a very useful aid in battle situations. Issa Nadir. The daughter of Dr. Kashe Nadir, Issa knows no fear and will gladly undertake the most dangerous search and destroy missions. Few men can come close to matching her superb fighting and infiltration skills. Gregor Lenko. Gregor Lenko, the Russian bear, is one half of a crack military team working for a covert international consortium. Along with Issa Nadir, he is sent on assignments which would cause lesser men to quake with fear. Jake Fenton. Jake has been battling bribery and corruption in Chicago ever since Big Tony came to town. Tony lost him his badge and had him run out of town, but now he's back, working for Lady Jane's agency and looking to settle the score. Lady Jane. This hot-blooded socialite skipped Swish Finishing School to set up her own private investigation agency in Chicago. A stickler for fashion, you'll never catch her with anything but the latest in haute couture and semi-automatic weapons. Viola. The child of a reclusive, aristocratic countessa, Viola assumes the guise of a traveling troubadour as a cover for her true mission, to destroy evil wherever it bears its ugliness. Mr. Underwood. Mr. Underwood has debunked table rappers and fake mystics all over England. Reports of true supernatural phenomena have brought him to Paris. He has joined forces with the Lady Viola to share intelligence in the battle against Jacques de la Morte. Hank Nova. Some guys just have it, and Hank's one of them. He's seen things you people wouldn't believe, attacks ships on fire off the shoulder of, well, whatever. A leaner, meaner, more square-jawed hero never graced the space operatic stage. Candy Schuyler. Candy graduated from cadet training just 2 weeks ago, although there's been cheap talk around the academy that she failed astronavigation but got a suspension because she has a cute butt. Ghost. The coolest cyber jock in the tech quarter, Ghost can hack an AI core in milliseconds. When he declined Sadako's offer to join her gang, she planned a bitter revenge. Now he is framed for a crime he did not commit, and Neo-Tokyo police are on his trail. Chastity. Before becoming a highly decorated officer in the LAPD, Chastity ran with the gangs in the back streets of Neo-Tokyo. She has vowed to help Ghost clear his name and regain his honor. Elijah Jones. Elijah is Peekaboo Jones' great-great-grandpappy. His life as a bounty hunter began at the age of 16 when he saw his parents gunned down in cold blood by cattle rustlers. Since that day, his mission has been to confront injustice wherever he finds it. Ramona Sosa. Ramona came over the border hoping for a peaceful life, but with her fiery temper and quick reflexes, she quickly fell into work as a law enforcer. When things began turning sour in Little Prospect, she sent a wire out to her old friend Elijah Jones for backup. Harry Tipper. The crime-busting skills of ex-New York vice cop Harry Tipper are now employed in the fight against international supervillains. This time he's got a license to chill. Nice tux, Harry. Kitten Celeste. Sometimes things get a little too hot under the collar for Harry and he needs some manual assistance from his slinky sidekick, Miss Celeste. Go get him, Tiger. Arrgh. Captain Ash. Adventurer extraordinaire, Captain Ash's exploits have carried him to the four corners of the earth. He's always accompanied by the most glamorous assistants and never averse to stopping for a spot of afternoon tiffin. Just to keep the pecker up, you understand. Tally-ho! Jungle Queen. Raised in the jungle by wolves, the Jungle Queen's sharp intellect is only hampered by her tight thong and lack of language. Captain Ash has promised to make her a duchess if she comes back to Blighty with him. Gretel Mark II. Gretel 2 is a second-generation precision killing machine programmed with stealth and martial arts techniques from around the galaxy. Together with R109, she has been sent to destroy the machinist's robot army. R109. An upgrade of the now outdated R-108, the R-109 is a war robot built for heavy-duty combat. His reasons for destroying the Machinist are more personal than his partner Gretel 2. R-109 wants revenge for all his fallen comrades killed in the Machine Wars. Monkey! It's a monkey! Hybrid mutant. The TimeSplitters' evil aura had a devastating effect on some of the more susceptible Siberian troopers, causing massive genetic mutation. Military scientists tried to turn them into super soldiers, but after a series of horrific incidents, the mutants were deemed uncontrollable and placed under maximum security. Big Tony. After buying out the Felucci brothers' olive oil import business, Big Tony turned his now slippery hands to more criminal activities. But liquor, loose women, and the numbers racket weren't enough. Lately, it seems he's been taking shipments from some dodgy, out-of-town characters. Jacques de la Morte. A psychopathic murderer, Jacques de la Morte's mind has been twisted by visions of angels. Now he teeters on the brink of complete insanity. Ozer Mox. The Ozer hate everyone and everything, especially their close cousins, the Meezer. Sadako. Horrifically burnt in a tenement blaze when she was 10, Sadako's outer scars are nothing compared to the rage and hatred she harbors within. A self-taught hacker, she and her gang have stumbled across technology that could change the course of history. The Colonel. After deserting from the Confederate Army, the Colonel went deep into South America searching for Inca gold. He returned a changed man, evil and in possession of strange allies. Kalos. It's not easy holding the world to ransom, but Mr. Kalos seems well qualified for the job. He's got secret bases, doomsday devices, scores of henchmen, and a penchant for over-elaborate death scenes. He poo-poos his detractors who claim that he got his eye patch from a novelty store and that his first name is Archibald. Stone Golem. The ancient powers of the Temple of Tahachek have imbued the very rocks with life. These mighty creatures possess the strength of 100 men. No one has ever dared to ask what they keep in their little sacks. Machinist. An ageless scavenger, the Dark Machinist child utilizes any components available for his mismatched body, mechanical and biological alike. He is unaware of how twisted and obscene his modifications have become. Reaper Splitter. Selectively bred for the strength and ferocity, Reapers are the main combatants of the TimeSplitter army. Hector Baboso. The son of a saloon girl, Hector was raised in a house of ill repute. After a series of botched holdups, he met fellow outlaw Mikey Two Guns in prison and the pair became firm friends. Lean Molly. Sally's slender sister, she's not big on special cuddles. Dr. Peabody. Since the age of 10, when he blew up his parents' garden shed, Dr. Theodus Peabody knew that he was destined to be an explosive scientist. He relishes the chance to further dispel academic stereotypes by running amok with an automatic weapon. Crypt Zombie. The mortal remains of the cathedral monks had been at rest for generations in the catacombs of Notre Dame, but the evil magic of Jacques de la Morte has raised their mummified corpses as flesh-eating zombies, ready to carry out his every demand. Chassis Bot. Built from scrap and spare parts scavenged from the sprawling Machine Wars scrapyards, the lightweight chassis bots are designed for speed and agility. Sentry Bot. Adapted from old security robots by the Machinist, the Sentry Bots are programmed to kill anything that moves. Meezer Mox. The Meezer hate everyone and everything, especially their close cousins, the Ozar. Male Trooper. The Marine Troopers have borne the brunt of the TimeSplitters' onslaught against humanity. Female Trooper. The Marine Troopers have borne the brunt of the TimeSplitters' onslaught against humanity. Crispin. Crispin's had one too many brushes with the flamethrower. Even he can't remember what he used to look like. Undead Priest. The Undead Priests are all that remains of Jacques' cult followers. Under his influence, they sacrifice their souls for immortality, providing Jacques with an elite army of dark followers. Louis Big Nose. Louis's been slipping and sliming his way in and out of Big Tony's good books for years. Every time Tony promotes him, he somehow manages to goof up. Lately, he's hit upon the trick of getting braces to break any bad news to Tony. Slick Tommy. Slick Tommy fancies himself as a bit of a ladies' man, as quick with a knife as he is with a saucy one-line "come on." Jimmy hasn't told him that you shouldn't wear a blue tie with a brown suit. Jimmy Needles. Jimmy Needles is a ruthless assassin brought in from Miami to handle Tony's more tricky hits. This guy's a fruit nut. Every morning he has a half a cantaloupe melon, 2 fresh grapefruit, and a glass of chilled cranberry juice, or else he's just plain ornery all day. Accountant. Claims to know the difference between a double tap entry wound and double entry bookkeeping, but we're not so sure. Lawyer. Should you, the player, choose freely to play as this character, it is under the express understanding that absolutely no warranty, stated or implied, is given for his performance or lack thereof in a deathmatch or any other arcade scenario, whether in existence or yet to be devised. Braces! Despite the fact that he always gets the blame when things go wrong, Braces remains a loyal foot soldier in Big Tony's mob. Whatever he lacks in intelligence, he more than makes up for in brute strength. Maiden. So innocent and so pure, the maiden is the perfect sacrifice. Jo Beth Casey. Mary Beth Casey's younger sister. Jo Beth likes to sneak out of her parents' house at weekends to fight crime and kill monsters. Her high school show and tell sessions are really something quite special. Riot Officer. The Neo-Tokyo Riot Squad are rigorously trained, acting in all situations to control disturbances with an iron fist. Barbie Gimp. Once a high fashion model, Barbie Gimp turned her back forever on the world of glamour when she decided to have surgical steel fighting claw implants. She still likes to watch the hollow soaps on her neural visor. Jebediah Crump. Jebediah is the only original inhabitant of Little Prospect left. While the town was being taken over by the Colonel and his gang, the crazy old prospector was at the bottom of a mine shaft drinking moonshine. When he surfaced 2 days later, he couldn't quite work out what had changed. Venus Star. Venus left her hometown at a young age in search of fame as a showgirl. Despite her obvious charms and snazzy homemade costume, her career has yet to take off. Perhaps she should have gone somewhere more cosmopolitan than Little Prospect. Mikey Two Guns. Mikey was a 2-bit horse thief and cattle rustler until the Colonel lured him into his gang with the promise of easy gold and loose women. The women were never easy, but some of them had loose gold teeth, so I guess the Colonel isn't all empty talk. Jared Slim. A callous murderer and card sharp, Jared was rescued from the gallows by the Colonel and has been his right-hand man ever since. Ample Sally. Always on the lookout for a quick buck, Sally latched onto the Colonel's gang for the chance of fortune and power. They latched onto her for her great cooking and special cuddles. Henchmen. The Henchmen are the foot soldiers in Callus's terror organization. Outfitted with the latest in army surplus night vision goggles and flattering figure-hugging suits, plus baseball caps, they cut a dash in any kind of secret base under attack chaos. Cyber Fairy. A space-age pixie, the Cyber Fairy flits across time zones, drawn to machine technology like a moth to flame. Kypris. Found in a burlap sack at the bottom of a well, no one knows if Kypris is a supernatural goddess or just a lady with a fancy costume. Despite many offers of money and power, she has never raised all of her arms on a public stage. Mr. Giggles! Mr. Giggles stumbled into a small English village when he was just a boy. Although he was adopted by a loving family, he was never truly happy until he ate them and joined the circus. Marco the Snitch. Marco's turned coat and switched sides far too many times in his short career of crime. Even he can't remember who he's told what to. Sick with worry, he lives his life in constant fear of mob retaliation. Hatchet Sal. Hatchet Sal got his nickname from his habit of chopping off his unfortunate victims' right hands. He used to keep his trophies in a shoebox under his bed, but one night after too much cheese, he had the mother of all nightmares and his box of gruesome buddies just had to go. He's cleaned up his act now, but the Hatchet moniker stayed with him. Changeling. The Changelings are shape-shifting spirits drawn to Notre Dame by the foul rituals of Jacques de la Morte. The Hunchback. The Hunchback knows all the hidden doorways and secret tunnels of Notre Dame. Horrified by the evil that Jacques de la Morte has unleashed in his beloved cathedral, he battles to thwart the lunatic's plans. Sewer Zombie. The fetid depths of the Parisian sewers are the final resting place of many unfortunate murder victims and diseased beggars. The dark magic suffusing Notre Dame has reanimated their half-rotted bodies. Gargoyle. Infused with stolen life by the TimeSplitters' evil aura, the gargoyles will destroy anything foolish enough to stand in their path. They especially don't like pigeons. The Cropolate. A demon from another dimension, the Cropolate has been drawn to our world by the space-time rift opened by the TimeSplitters. Beetleman. A hideous alien grafting experiment gone wrong. Beetleman fights out of rockabilly rage at what was done to his once beautiful body. Dark Henchman. When Kalos bought a cheap job lot of sidekick costumes, some dudes were lucky enough to get first pick. Guess what? They chose black instead of yellow. High Priest. Yeah? Well, this dude thinks you look pretty strange too. Wood Golem. Around the temple, the thirsty roots of trees have sucked up the blood from 1,000 human sacrifices. The souls of these ancient victims now prowl the earth, bound within gnarled skins of wood. Aztec Warrior. Modeling the latest in heavy gold jewelry, nose piercing, pudding bowl haircut, and high-performance athletic support, this guy cuts a mean dash through any tropical rainforest. He's not so keen on prickly thickets, though. The Master. A wandering Chinese monk, the Master's life is shrouded in mystery. Ladies can't resist stroking his beard. Crayola. A high school dropout with a genius-level IQ, Crayola shunned the academic world to become the brains behind Sadako's sick experiments. Milk Baby. Bullied as a child, Milk Baby honed her fighting skills in the dark streets of the Tech Quarter. Now she serves as a vicious foot soldier in Sadako's gang. Drone Splitter. Once a peaceful amphibian race, the drones were enslaved when the Splitters invaded their planet. Spinal implants ensure they will never escape the Splitters' control. Baby Drone. The TimeSplitters' evil knows no limits. Even juvenile drones are forced into labor at a young age. Scourge Splitter. Nothing is known about these fearsome leaders of the TimeSplitters, although their bondage trousers are admired across the galaxy. R-107. A few deranged zealots were drawn to the machine wars. Poor Robert 107 is under the delusion that he is a carefully constructed robot sent to save the world from evil. Feeder Zombie. The Feeder Zombie's thought process is quite simple. Eat brains, eat brains, eat brains. Although to be fair, the stains on their t-shirts are mostly melon juice. Stumpy. Stumpy is the adopted son of Sergio the Magnificent. The strongman despairs of Stumpy's errant nature and malicious pranks, but hopes in his heart that one day Stumpy will grow up to be a little taller. Lola Varuska. A Ukrainian trapeze artist. Despite the strictures of her corset, Lola still manages a dazzling smile. All the gentlemen love her and she has never missed a catch. Nikki. Twins from a tiny oriental village, Jinky and Nikki were sold to the ring mistress when they were both babes in arms. Strangely, each claims to be the elder sister. Jinky. Twins from a tiny oriental village, Nikki and Jinky were sold at the ring mistress when they were both babes in arms. Strangely, each claims to be the elder sister. Ring mistress. The mysterious matriarch of the circus family, the ring mistress is fiercely protective of her eldritch troop. Calamari. A political refugee from a distant ocean planet, Calamari hid in a cupboard when the TimeSplitters attacked the space station. Snowman. Brought to life by a child's wish, the flying snowman traverses time in search of death or glory. Bear. Rescued from an animal trap by Lola Veruska, Bear is fanatically loyal and will fight to the death to protect the circus. He's had his fez ever since he was a cub. Leo Crops. Leo was once the circus lion tamer, but over the years he adopted more and more of his lion's characteristics until one morning he was found alone in the lion's cage, roaring and dribbling. He has lived as a lion ever since. Sergio. The circus strongman Sergio's incredible strength is tempered with a compassionate personality and love of life. He likes to tend his herb garden and collect first editions. Mischief. Mischief's happy smile and childlike manner hide her true nature, a psychotic killer with a love of death. The last person who twanged her braces ended up chopped to pieces in the taffy pulling machine. The Impersonator. The king returns after a sellout tour of holiday camps and working men's clubs. Badass Cyborg. He's the leanest, the meanest, and the badass machinist. Chinese Chef. Still the best in the business, they say his recipe for special slow braised TimeSplitter and black bean sauce is out of this world. Duckman Drake. He's quack and he's back. Gingerbread Man. Flour, brown sugar, shortening, molasses, baking soda, ginger, cinnamon, and some well-beaten eggs. Mix well, pop in the oven, and let the nightmares begin. Insect Mutant. Frank was always telling folks about UFOs in the skies over his garage, but nobody believed his tales of alien abductions. Look at him now. What do you think? Robofish. The pesky pop-eyed Fiskeen returns. Dinosaur. He breathes fire and has vestigial forelimbs. Handyman. This guy is straight out of Hatchet Sal's nightmares. Just goes to show crime doesn't pay. Or maybe Sal should have just laid off the cheese. Nikolai. Nikolai is a little too curious for his own good. He's always telling Sergeant Shivers that he knows best and that he can sort out whatever is going on in the secret base under the dam. Private Sand. Private Sand is a reliable foot soldier in the Desert Force. Private Grass. Private Grass is a hard-working grunt in the regular force. Private Cole. Private Cole is a promising recruit to the Special Forces unit. He has a crush on Lieutenant Shade but hasn't dared to ask her out. Private Poorly. Private Poorly is feeling a little undead after his unpleasant encounter in the caverns below Obelisk Dam. Sergeant Rock. Sergeant Rock is a bit of a matchmaker in the Desert Forces. He's always helping his colleagues to get the girl they want. Sergeant Shivers. Sergeant Shivers really doesn't like working at Obelisk Dam. It's all a bit spooky and he's fed up with Nikolai calling him a scaredy cat. Sergeant Wood. Sergeant Wood is an upstanding officer in the regular force. Sergeant Shock. Sergeant Shock likes to impress the ladies with his Special Forces uniform. He keeps the helmet shiny and well polished. Sergeant Slate. Sergeant Slate should have stayed away from the biological samples under the dam. Lieutenant Frost. Lieutenant Frost is an accomplished curling champion. She practices on the frozen lake behind the dam. Lieutenant Wild. Lieutenant Wild is a striking officer in the Desert Force. She's always had fast-track promotion, and many say that one day she's destined to make a general. Lieutenant Shade. Lieutenant Shade is the femme fatale of the Special Forces. Her peroxide blonde hair often surprises the men during undercover operations. Lieutenant Bush. Lieutenant Bush used to get in trouble with her superiors because of her unruly hair. Now she follows their advice and keeps it neatly trimmed. Lieutenant Chill. Lieutenant Chill has the distinction of being the only undead woman in the game. Trooper White. Trooper White is a promising soldier in the Arctic Force. Trooper Brown. Trooper Brown often gets hot and bothered inside his gas mask on desert operations. Trooper Black. Trooper Black takes great delight in his work and is always first in line when special forces are deployed, as they frequently are. Trooper Green. Trooper Green's gas mask is a great help with his hay fever on summer operations. Trooper Gray. Trooper Gray's foul zombie breath fills the inside of his gas mask and makes even his eyes water. Captain Snow. Captain Snow is the leader of the Arctic Force. Sometimes the cold climate makes his earpiece malfunction. Captain Sand. Captain Sand is the bold commander of the Desert Force. Captain Knight. Captain Knight is the daring leader of the Special Forces. He likes to deploy his troops at the slightest sign of trouble. Some of the senior staff officers think that perhaps there's a little too much deploying going on. Captain Forrest. Captain Forrest is the well-respected chief of the regular force. Captain Payne. Captain Payne could have gone all the way to the top. Unfortunately, he volunteered for an experiment in the labs, and now he wanders the Earth as a soulless monster.